This means if we add all these together, 2 rap verses on MTV Unplugged, 15 rap verses on MISEDUCATION, 11 on The Score, 11 on Blunted on Reality. That means Lauryn Hill has 39 total rap verses her entire career. Okay, so for this next topic, I'm going to try to be somewhat sensitive because people really get in their feelings about this artist. This is about Lauryn Hill. Is Lauryn Hill a rapper? Yes or no? To me, I think Lauryn Hill was not a rapper. I think she's a singer who had rap verses. We're going to keep this real quick, facts only, and then we can all go about our day. Lauryn Hill. So she has effectively 1 studio album, which is obviously the MISEDUCATION of Lauryn Hill. She has 2 albums, group albums with the Fugees, where she's a member of a trio, and she has the MTV Unplugged live album. That's it. So really she has 1 or maybe 2 albums worth of solo music, which is MISEDUCATION and MTV Unplugged. Now, if you want to talk Fugees, she has the Blunted on Reality album and the Score album where she appears, spits verses, does her thing, right? Now, Blunted on Reality, I don't know if anyone here has listened to that album recently. I recently re-listened to this album in preparation for this video. It's not very good. It has moments, but Lauryn Hill is very obviously not writing her verses on this album. Maybe she wrote some, maybe she had a hand in it, but these verses sound written by one of the other 2 members. Stylistically, it's not in her style. I'll let you guys go back and re-listen to Lauryn Hill's verses on this album. But I mean, if I'm talking greatest rappers of all time, having your verses written by somebody else, for me, that's automatically get you knocked out. So when people say Lauryn Hill is the greatest female rapper of all time, I have to refute, because I don't think she is a rapper. I don't think she was a rapper any more than Beyonce is a rapper on the Lemonade album, because she spat rap verses. That doesn't make you a rapper to me. So I went through and I listened to each of Lauryn Hill's albums: Blunted on Reality, The Score, MISEDUCATION, and MTV Unplugged. And I really wanted to just see how many rap verses does Lauryn Hill have, because I don't think she has many. I think it's a handful, anywhere from 20 to 40, right? So I went through each album and I said, okay, how many verses did Lauryn Hill rap? So here, Blunted on Reality. So Blunted on Reality, we got Lauryn Hill with the 11 verses. Keep that in mind. On The Score, how much is Lauryn Hill rapping? Now here on Blunted on Reality, Lauryn Hill she hasn't really gotten her singing bag on this album. On Some Seek Stardom, she has a moment on the last verse where she gets melodic, but she doesn't pull all the way into singing like she does here on The Score, on songs like Ready or Not or Fuji La. So you can see here on The Score, she raps on How Many Mics. She raps on Ready or Not. She sings the hook on Ready or Not as well. Zealots, she's got 2 verses on The Beast. She got a verse on Fuji La, sings the hook. She sings the interlude, Family Business. So if we total up all of Lauryn Hill's rap verses on The Score, it's 11 rap verses to 13 total verses. She has 2 non-rap verses on Killing Me Softly. She has 2 non-rap verses. She doesn't rap on that song. So here's where it gets interesting. Once you get into Lauryn Hill's solo music, but just on her group albums alone with the Fugees, she's got 22 total rap verses. 22, which is not much. You know, some rappers spit that in one album. We're talking about over 2 albums. But again, she's in a group. She has to share verses. She's not really writing her rhymes all the time on this Blunted on Reality album. But here's where it gets interesting. And we can go down the list. There's a string on this album where she doesn't really rap at all. And you can see here for every ghetto, every city I gave this to, I said, you know, it's 4 questionable rap verses. It's hard to tell if she's rapping or if you qualify that as singing. But you know what? For the sake of argument, I gave it to her. We'll count those as rap verses. Even though she's singing them, she's melodic, we'll count those as rap. So on MISEDUCATION of Lauryn Hill, we've got 15 rap verses to 44 total verses. There are 44 verses on this album. Only 15 of them are raps. That means the percent of total verses that are rap verses, 34%. Only 34% of her verses on MISEDUCATION of Lauryn Hill are rap verses. That means 66% of the album is not rap. The number of total songs in the album, 16. There are only 7 songs on the album, MISEDUCATION of Lauryn Hill, 7 that have rap verses at all. That means 57-ish% of the album does not even have a rap verse in terms of songs. That means 9 songs on the album have no rap verses at all. The majority of the album, what I'm getting here is the majority of the album is not rap. It's an R&B album with rapping on it. And here's where it just becomes unfair for anyone who's arguing that Lauryn Hill is a rapper, right? On MTV Unplugged, her album MTV Unplugged, live album, there are 40 total verses. It's like a 21-song album. There are a lot of interludes. There are 7 interludes. 40 verses. She only spits 2 raps. Out of 21 songs, we're counting the interludes, only 2 have rap verses. The percent of total verses that are rap verses, 5%, 2 out of 40. This means if we add all these together, 2 rap verses on MTV Unplugged, 15 rap verses on MISEDUCATION, 11 on The Score, 11 on Blunted on Reality. That means Lauryn Hill has 39 total rap verses her entire career. 39. I know it wasn't a long career, but we've got 4 albums worth of content. That's more than Biggie has, you know, more than many artists have. It's enough to judge it. 39 verses total. Now, you may not know how to judge this, how to wage this, you know, how to, 39 verses. Is that a lot? Is that a little? Let's compare it to someone like Doja Cat, who Remy Ma recently came out, or not long ago, Remy Ma came out and said that Doja Cat isn't really a rapper. I disagree with that. Doja Cat is not only a rapper, she's the best female rapper out right now, and in top 5 rappers, period. But you compare Lauryn Hill's total number of verses, 39 rap verses in her entire career. Just compare it to what Doja Cat did on her last album, Scarlet. So you look at the Scarlet album, I went and I tallied up all the rap verses that are on this album. Doja Cat has mostly given us 2 rap verses per song, except for on Often. There are no rap verses. That's like a sing-songy type song. And then What You Mean Freestyle, she has 1 verse, it's a freestyle, so I mean. But in one album, Doja Cat has 31 rap verses. In one album, 31. Lauryn Hill in her entire career only has 39. Her entire Grammy Award-winning career only has 39 rap verses to Doja Cat's 31 on one album. So if you're Remy Ma and you're talking about, well, Doja Cat isn't really a rapper, well, I meant it as a compliment. However you meant it, if Doja Cat isn't a rapper to you, she spat 31 raps on her rap album. Scarlet is very... you cannot confuse Scarlet for anything but a rap album. It's not pop. She leaned away from pop. It's not R&B. She does have some sing-songy type songs on there, but it's a rap album, which Lauryn Hill does not have. Lauryn Hill does not have a solo rap album. The closest thing Lauryn Hill has are the Fugees album, but left to her own devices, 15 rap verses to 44 total verses on MISEDUCATION of Lauryn Hill. So if you're making an argument that Doja Cat's not a rapper, but Lauryn Hill is the greatest female rapper of all time, how are you making that distinction? Doja Cat on one album nearly spat more verses, as many verses as Lauryn Hill did her entire career. Most of Lauryn Hill's rap verses are coming from the Fugees albums, which you guys do not listen to. You guys don't listen to Blunted on Reality. If you did, you wouldn't be calling Lauryn Hill the best female rapper of all time, because her verse on Nappy Heads is laughable. Like her verses on some of these, like, it's not written by her. It's like either Pras or Wyclef writing this. If you understand how rappers write songs and their humor and their cadence, these are like Pras and Wyclef raps. If you listen to this album through and through, you would not be calling her the greatest of all time for females. The Score, okay, I'll give that to you. But even here, she's singing. But left to her own devices, MISEDUCATION and MTV Unplugged. Lauryn Hill is not a rapper, not even trying to rap. 2 rap verses on MTV Unplugged to 40 total verses. She has 40 verses, only 2 are rap. That's 5% of the album. MISEDUCATION, only 43% of songs have rap verses. That means 57%, the vast majority, are not rap verses and are not rap songs. People try to make the argument that, Lauryn Hill is the greatest rapper of all time. And I always retort with, I don't think she's a rapper. I don't think she qualifies as a rapper. She doesn't have enough rap albums. She doesn't have enough verses. Lauryn Hill effectively has about 1 album worth of rap verses. If you compile all her rap verses and put it on an album, she has about 1 album worth of rap verses. So if you can call someone the greatest rapper of all time based on that, your standards are different than mine. I need a bigger sample size. Maybe you don't. But let me know what y'all feel about this. I think I'm the first one to compile Lauryn Hill's rap verses like this. Only 39 rap verses over an entire career. That's enough for you to say she's the greatest rapper of all time? I don't think so. I think she's one of the most influential. You could even use the term greatest, like in terms of her impact and what she came in and did and how she went against the grain with songs like Doo-Wop and, Fuji La and, you could do that, and I give that to you. But when we're talking greatest of all time, greatest rappers or best rappers of all time, I can't include her as a rapper. That's just me. How do y'all feel about this? Be sure to subscribe if you have not already. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.